Hey guys, Mark again. I'm having trouble with my computer here a little bit. I've been pushing buttons and something going wrong. Now, the title of today's video is going to be Nvidia maybe cutting production and graphics cards in its graphics cards uh, by 30 to 40%. Not good for PC gaming. Now, I just bought and been using for a while now 5060 Ti 16 gig. Here, 12 o'clock through again. It's silver and a black case card, black casing. Okay, I bought this about maybe 2 weeks ago or so. A little bit less than that actually. Yeah, it was 12th. Yeah, but 2 weeks ago. I got it on. I got it. Paid for it. Got it, and I didn't get it until at least. I didn't put it in until Sunday the 14th. So I've had it for about a week. And so after New Year's, after I come back from my New Year's break, um, it will be the 5th, I do believe. I'll do my official review on 5060 Ti 16 gig. But the reason why I'm talking about this card a lot is because one of the cards that NVIDIA is trying to temporarily stop producing is the 5060 Ti, especially the 16 gig variant, because of the memory bandwidth. And that has been talked about for a while now, that the memory RAM is spilling over now into the memory of GPU memory now. And we all knew talking about it. Jay's Two Cents, Gamers Nexus, myself, Paul's Hardware Unboxing, even Iceberg Tech for a while talked about the VRAM becoming next victim of the RAM apocalypse, or the RAM, confiscating the RAM, because these AI companies are, because now they got, they got $1 billion industry insiders now saying that insiders saying now that the federal government is using AI for the military. Now, granted, I'm all for sending drones over to see stuff more than have boots on the ground. I'm more understand for having family members who served, friends who served. I understand that maybe and having a robot go over and get shot full of holes may be better. But there's a franchise called Terminator series that says it's not a good idea to put all our eggs in the AI basket. We all seem happy with Terminators and the Nuke Judgment Day kind of stuff. So let's not just give the keys over to the robot just yet to our whole lives. But I see them doing it for maybe cybersecurity, you know, maybe protecting children, protecting the elderly from maybe scams. If that kind of federal funding goes that way, as well as the military, that'd be kind of cool, But also, they use this AI stuff to find kids that have been abducted, decades earlier. Like I saw a story online where I know a woman who was married to a retired cop in California was arrested for an abduction of her daughter from her soil father like 38 years later. And I think AI and DNA, AI, something like that, some kind of AI had help in that, where it took 38 years to find this person. But AI helped out with AI and also with understanding, you know what happened. Now I don't know the whole story of that. You can watch it, on. I have some. I know I've subscribed to some channels to talk about weird stuff like that. But it's pretty interesting how AI can help. But I'm not looking, to have my graphics card, or graphics cards be turned into just, e-waste because, Nvidia wants that sweet $1 trillion money from the federal government or for or like Saudi Arabia, whatever, so they can get rich get rich quick schemes. The AI bubble could burst in a second. Okay, and I understand why RAM manufacturers don't want to pump out tons of RAM because you can't give those PC gamers any type of options to buy stuff. Oh hell's no, we have to make sure we can strict everything down to damn freaking bare bones while we're fighting and using and using our swords and fighting with baseball bats trying to grab that kit of RAM up there cost $900 for DDR5 because hell's bells we have to have it because you know 32 gigabytes is not enough. I have to have 128. Listen, guys, Nvidia wants to make graphics cards only 8 gigabytes. They talked about taking this 16 gig variant and the TI variant and only putting on the shelves the 8 gigabyte variant. Where you can play games at 8 gigabytes. You can at 1080p, but just understand this. If we're allowing AI to be in our graphics cards, we're allowing AI to be in our games. Do you really think that game's going to look good at 1080p low settings? You get 30 rocking frames? No, it's not, folks. If you say it is, you're a big damn effing liar. Okay, and you know it. Because there's no damn way in my mind that 8 gigabytes is going to do anything other than waste time. Listen, now I saved up money and I had enough money to buy this, but I got my bonus from work and overtime from work that put me over to get this. I didn't want 12 gigabyte 5070 because, like I said, what happens if you start making games with they need 16 gigabytes or 14 gigabytes of memory. It happens, guys. It happens all the time. When I got my 3070 back in 2022, 2021, and I had it for about 4 years. And I knew, if you turn like, how Wicked Witch the West, turn the hourglass over on Dorothy, you have this much time to live. I knew when I got the car, turn the hourglass over, I had that much time until this car becomes relevant. Granted, yes, you can play games. You can play games at 1080p, wah, wah, wah. Yes, you can. But you got to understand there is a ceiling that you can only hit. Once you hit that ceiling, you ain't going above it. So, well, I play games. I think play game 1080p looks fine to me. Yeah, it looks fine now. But 2 years from now, 4 years from now, that card you just bought with the 5060 Ti 8 gigabyte card becomes a damn paperweight because now you're playing game low settings. When I had to turn down settings on my 3070, I was like, you know what? I need a new card. Oh, look at this 5060 Ti. Huh, I'm going to do research on this. So it took 4 months to research on these cards. To research this one, 960 XT, 9970 XT, 5070, 5070 Ti. I did research on those 4 or 5 cards in 4 months. Why? I researched. I talked to people who had them. I saw people who had them. I know I saw talked to people who had these variants. I went online. I did a lot of research. Why? Because I need to know what I'm getting into. So Nvidia says, well, cool. No, we're temporary, maybe cutting production. This one, just raise the price if you don't want to sell the damn things. These are selling quite well, actually. A lot of my friends, few friends I know, bought this card. They had 3060, 3070. Hey, one guy had 3080, and he sold it to his brother. And they gave him like $300 for it. He bought this. Granted, it's kind of a it's kind of dumb thing to do with 3080, but he wanted a 16 gig card. Now, see, I have a 3070. Well, I had 3070. I got getting my sister and my brother-in-law. I had a 3070. Damn camera focus. Damn camera won't freaking focus anymore. Focus, you damn camera. Come on. Work with me here. Come on, camera. Work with me. Work with me, camera. Um, that it did not really. When I started lowering down settings, when I had to start lowering down settings uh, to utilize the card, the 3070, I knew it was time to upgrade. Listen, guys, I didn't upgrade because I wanted to spend money on nothing. Nah, I could have bought a PS5, not really, cause $800. I could have bought, a an S version of the Xbox if I wanted one. but I didn't want to. I wanted to upgrade my graphics card because I wanted something new. Now, now, Nvidia telling us that they're going to be cutting production by up to 30 to 40% on these cards, starting with the 5060 Ti 16 variant. I've been telling you guys, if you haven't got this card yet or card like it, you might want to start looking. In 2026, or starting 2026, I told you guys, start 2026. Myself, Gamers Nexus, Jay's Two Cents, Iceberg Tech, Paul Hardware Unboxing, and all the other people in between has told every one of you to go out and buy a card right now. Upgrade right now. If you have a 1080, you need to upgrade right now. If you have a 2080, you probably go an extra few more, an extra year or two. But the graphics cards, guys, are not going to be cheap. Okay, even if they keep, because this card will still work even if they temporarily halt production. The card will still have drivers still work. But if once they stop doing that, the price will go up to $1,000 easy. I see some of these cards here over $1,000 from some sellers. That's why I bought it back in on the 12th of December. Some people are stupid that will charge $1,000, but some people will buy it. People bought $2,000 PS5s and got bags of rocks and grass in them, or a picture of a PS5. So people will do weird things with money. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say to you guys: is this: don't sit there and wait on me to tell you, or Jay's 2 cents, or other people I have listed down below. In the description page. You guys need to make the decision on yourself. But you need to strike when the iron is still warm. And now I got my card when it was 479. It's 489 now. It's probably almost $500 right now, probably. But I bought mine. And it cost me 525 for a 16 gigabyte card with good VRAM and pretty good kick to it. So I feel good about what I got. But do I sit there and hope like the card the ad or the AI bow burst? No, because then that means a lot of people are going to lose their jobs and a lot of people are going to have then they're going to have people But if it doesn't burst and it keeps growing, and these RAM production don't want to overproduce RAM, maybe if they can find out if it's not going to burst or not in the next couple of years, maybe they'll turn on the tap again and pour more of that sweet RAM into production, and they can make enough for everyone, including the AI monsters out there that want to have these data centers and other crap. But until they do that, you're going to be fist fights and knives coming out, grabbing that RAM up for $900, or buying like Intel motherboards that do DDR4, DDR5, and buying DDR4, or buying an AM4 like I've been on since 2020, and trying to get a 600X3D. And even so, AMD has been asked to reproduce the 5800X3D because of these RAM issues. People can I have a 5800X3D, or Ryzen 7. I had it since almost 3 years now, 2 years. Yeah, about 2 3 years, and it runs perfectly great. I love it. I just updated the BIOS about 5 months ago. And I updated the motherboard BIOS and stuff for it. I updated a lot of stuff for it, and it runs superbly well. Now, even though it's outdated by about 4 years to other processors that smack the living shit out of it, the 5800X3D is considered the AM4 gaming juggernaut because it is, and people want AMD to recreate that or create 3600X3Ds, 5600X3Ds again. 5700X3D is doing pretty well, but people want 5800X3Ds because that's a king processor. It's 8 core, 16 threads. It's a great processor for 3D gaming if you're doing a lot of 3D stuff. If you're doing standard stuff, then 5800X would be just good for you. I saw a couple of them, 5800Xs on Facebook sales, for about 400 bucks used. So they're still expensive. You can get them, they're expensive. Brand new, probably close to $600, probably. I saw one I think on Amazon for 750, not $7, $750. This is back about a year ago. So people are looking to get into anything they can. And how does hurt PC gaming? It'll hurt it because it'll turn people away. Now, if you're determined to get in PC gaming, you'll find a way. I'm saying right now, don't go to AM4 as a long term band aid. Go to AM4 as a quick hit. But I wouldn't go to AM4 brand new. I wouldn't stand at 7-Eleven going, hey, did you got any more of those RAM sticks? No. I mean, you need to understand that this bubble may burst. If it bursts tomorrow and you buy a rig or build a rig tomorrow, now you're outdated. But if you're like AM4 crowd like I am, part of AM4 Mafia, we're laughing at people at AM5 because you guys ran out there to go buy that stuff. Now you're upgrading, costing you more than what the RAM cost you when you bought it. Now you can buy RAM, just it's going to cost you, going to the bank and getting a loan for it. But you need to understand that. So all this comes back to the RAM issue. And PC gaming guys is going to suffer. Okay, that's just the way it's going to be. PC gaming guys is going to suffer, and it's going to be casualties. You see how Helldivers 2 went from 150 gigabyte to like 2023 or whatever it was, 25, what it was. I guarantee you, most of that stuff is going in the cloud or whatever nonsense it is, AI, whatever nonsense it is. So it's not 100% just gone. So even SSD is costing money. So guys, a lot of stuff PC gaming costs more money now, and consoles are no better off. Oh, I'm gonna buy an Xbox. Okay, go spend $800 on a piece of plastic that's outdated by about 3.5 years. But at least AM4, no, even 3600X will still kick the shit out the processor that's in the Xbox or PlayStation. I see people buying 28 Ti's for $200, popping it in their rigs and playing the latest games. Granted, it's 2 years older than but 3 years older what this is, but they found a way to play games. Trust me, guys. If something's important to you, you will find a way to do it. And I encourage you guys, if you have AM4, AM5, if you can hold out and put your money towards a graphics card if you haven't got one yet, I would do that first for anything else. Because once this goes away, the 16, they get only 8s out there. They'll probably discontinue. Rumor two is discontinue 5070 12 gig, and maybe even slow production on the 16 gig 5070 Ti 16 gig, and only leave the taller tiers 5090 that's just held to the no price, and 5080 will go up even more now because 16 gigabytes. So you have an 8 gigabyte, and if you can scrounge to find one of these 16 gigabyte card or 12 gigabyte 5070, like I said, you'd be crawling and using your swords and knives trying to stab to get those cards. You might get one at maybe if the scalpers don't bend you over, take your wallet, and smack you in the back of the head. Kind of prices, because it's going to be brutal, guys. I mean, the next year going to be brutal. It's literally next year starts. Or you guys, next year, January 1st is literally not this Thursday, but next Thursday, guys, January 1st. I'm not saying it's going to happen right 12:01, boom, prices go up. It could happen. So if you got any sales, if you have Micro Center around, if you know that Walmart has some, Best Buy has some, and you save enough money, you get Christmas money, you might want to try on yourself on down to the store or go online and buy that sweet card. 5060 Ti, 5070 Ti would say 5070 Ti would probably say it's going to be priced a little high. But if you got a lot of money for Christmas or have money you can spend, then yeah, That'd be a good buy because they might get rid of all three of those. They might it's not getting rid of the 5060 Ti 16 gig. It's temporary season production means they're gonna pretty much stop making cards for it so they can put more of that VRAM into their other RAM and RAM and send it to the companies make RAM so they get money off it. Because Nvidia doesn't make RAM; they make VRAM. They have RAM they use, but it's video memory RAM, and they probably sell it to the company who makes the RAM, so they get even more money from it. And how I've been told from it was, and break it down was, I think Gamers Nexus or Systems talked about was how the VRAM companies, then Nvidia has a company they do business with, or they own something about the VRAM, or partners do. I don't know, something that the VRAM is sent to them by the same die and how they make RAM sticks. And then, but it's changed differently to make more like video RAM. And how I'm getting it is, and maybe I'm wrong with this, is that they want to take the 8 gigabytes of the 16 gigabyte, make that eight, take the 8 gigabytes, put it back into the production pot or stew, send it over to the RAM companies, and get tons of money off of them, while they're getting money off the federal government by having these contracts. It's just a circle of bullshit. I mean, it's just like the person with the hand doing this. They're all doing this. It's just like you don't even know where the damn thing starts anymore. He goes, okay, line here, and if we have 50,000 lines, and you don't even know what it started from because you don't even know because it's like, okay, this is so effing confusing. The RAM problem is causing PC gamers to almost revolt. No, no, and I hear mutiny coming. Even some YouTubers thought about leaving the industry and getting out of YouTube and stop promoting stuff because of this crap. Because to them, it's just bull. Even Paul and Horror Unboxing talked about, they have a lot of RAM they can probably sell and retire. Well, you know what? Maybe it's time to retire, guys. Maybe it's time to hang up your guys' RAM kits and your graphics cards, right off in that sweet sweet money horse and right off in the sunset, and just say hell with it. I know they ain't gonna do that, but I'm saying it's something that they could do. I have 2 sticks of RAM in my clone drawer here, probably worth by me $100 each, probably $100 probably. But it doesn't mean I'm gonna run sell it and I'm gonna get rich. But a lot of these guys like Day2Cents, Gamer Nexus, play, they have a lot of RAM. Even Toasty Bros have a lot of RAM because they build PCs, they do stuff like that, and they buy RAM, they review RAM is what they do. So for them, it's like, yeah, we're sitting on gold mines, but it's like two, it's like, man, we don't want to feed the monster. It's like me, I bought this thing, yeah, I feed the monster, but you know what? I wanted to upgrade my graphics card, and 4 months ago we didn't know about the damn freaking RAM problem. And I didn't know much about it when I bought this car because I think, okay, well, RAM price is a little high, whatever, AI. I just now found out and about all this military spending stuff and bills are getting from Nvidia and the countries that they're doing with Saudi Arabia. I'm like, this is some serious crap. They have all these contracts, all these different countries and companies getting trillions of dollars, and yet they're gonna cease production on gamers' graphics card because gamers can't come home from a hard day working and relax and have visuals that actually see a game, so they're looking like a a pixelated grainy mess. Because you know why? Because you know Nvidia says, "F you, give me more money." That's all what it is. Give me more money. How dare you think $1 billion, $1 trillion is enough for us? We need $50 trillion, and that's really what it is. It's about money. Now I support any company that makes money. AMD, Nvidia, Intel, make all the money you can. But when you're trying to screw the gamer, and and I bought this card, yes. So I'm kind of feeding the monster in a sense. But I need to upgrade with something, guys. And I'm not gonna buy a console because it's $800 to buy a console. It'd be cheaper to go buy a damn 5090. Not really. It'd be more cheaper to go buy a 5070 Ti. I could buy a 5090. I could put on a layaway if I could, pay it off. So pay it off about 2 years. Go to the bank. When you get a bank loan for it, I could go buy a 5090 graphics card. I mean, that'd be a hell of a thing to talk to a loan manager. Yeah, I need to buy. I need to get a loan for what? A graphics card. Guys, it may happen eventually. I mean, I'll be laughing my ass off eventually. And also, GeForce is trying to do, prescription based system now where you play games on their service. 5080, 5090, all through the cloud. I'm like, I understand people don't want to go build a PC, but now if you're that damn lazy to go buy a subscription service, you might want to just not be playing games anymore. I'm not saying if you can't afford a 5090, 5080 or a PC and you have a laptop or an old computer that does it and you can't afford it for reasons, hey, cool, great. I understand. I get it. But we all come from somewhere. We all have to have, we all have struggles. So I get it. But if you're doing this because you think it's funny or think, oh, I'm just subscription service, to me, it's not right. No, it didn't make you poor. It didn't make you lazy. It just makes me wonder, are people doing this because they really have hard times? And it's sad they do. Now, I lost my mother back in February. And if you lost your parents and you have small income coming in, I get why you're taking that 10-year-old system and trying to squeeze out every inch, every ounce of play out of it, and you're going to Nvidia and paying them money to stream technically the games you do own or games you free to play or whatever. So I have no problem with that. But if you're willingly doing, if you know what you're doing willingly and spending money, wasting money, it just it makes no sense to me. But it's not saying that what's going on is terrible. Not at all. I don't tell people how to spend their money. I never will. Because my family was very strict about this. You make your money, you spend what you want to. Um, so that being said, though, how is this going to affect PC gaming? It already has, guys. It's not good. It's not good PC gaming. It's not good. Not good at all because all it's doing is getting in there. It's bringing home the stereotype that PC gamers are nothing more than just stupid people that buy a bunch of expensive graphics cards by companies that don't care about them, and that's really not the case. I got friends of mine who have families who own businesses who like PC gaming because to them it's freedom from the console overlords. You know, of being subjugated by some console manufacturer. You have to buy this console every 2 years, and no, they buy a graphics card every 5 years. I bought mine a little early because my 3070 was pretty much, like I said, it was, I wanted a little more performance. I wanted 16 gigs anyway. I wanted to prove myself at least a couple years. So that's why I bought the 16 gigabyte. If I knew more about the coming things, prices, now I would have bought it earlier. It was a little cheaper earlier. But like I said, though, guys, it's not anything that I can say to make this any easier. PC gaming, guys, is a rich people's game now. Like I said before, I said this like 6 months ago. PC gaming is not a poor man's hobby. You can't be poor and be a PC gamer. It just doesn't work because the graphics card alone, the memory alone, will cost you as much as the graphics card. Hell, this costs about two or three. $200 or $300 cheaper than most RAM kits for DDR5 cost. I saw DDR4 kits online for about $350. This was $525. It's about $150, $200 different. Like, really? RAM costs that much? I can understand 128 gigabyte RAM kit. Yeah, it costs $600. Yeah, you get 264. You get like 4 sticks. You get 264 sticks. Yeah, that's 128 gigs. It's a lot. If you're talking about two 16 gigabyte sticks, make 32, cost you $500, $400. Yeah, you're damn mind. How you hell you can damn buy? You can almost pay this off the cost I bought it. Um, uh, and that one is tough too, though. And the issue is though, really with the gaming is that people don't understand how gamers can support this. And no, we're not supporting it. I hear a lot of people online talking about, even on Facebook Messenger, talking about how, even some groups I'm in, talking about how PC gamers are supporting this nonsense, and it's not true. We're not supporting it at all. We're just trying to figure out, what to do, because a lot of people, a lot of people don't know what to do. Um, and really, that's something that needs to be understandable. That PC gaming to me is more than just buying graphics cards, and it's not really a way of life. It's more of a, I do it because I want to have my own individuality. I don't want to be subjugated to a console overlord telling me every 2 years I gotta buy something new. I want to have my own and have what I want and customize how I feel. And even some consoles, the Xbox, PlayStation, are trying to do that. But that's something that PC gamers been doing for about 20, 30 years. And I think that's the biggest thing of all time, is understanding that. Is understanding that situation, understanding that, understanding that situation, and understanding, um, that we do need more. You do need more and more, um, transparency when it comes to PC gaming, when it comes to the RAM issues. Because right now we're being told that they don't want to produce more RAM because they're afraid the bubble will burst. But by not doing that, you're causing a shortage that's causing prices to go up and affecting people, from buying RAM to upgrade their rigs. So how is that helping? It's not. There's no transparency. There's no communication. The RAM companies can flood the market with RAM. They can buy the RAM, make it, send it out, and literally probably keep everybody have RAM for a while. Granted, yeah, yes, you can only buy a RAM one time, but to temporary, you know, mass produce. Let's say maybe mass produce within, say, at the first quarter of 2025. You mass produce 2025, then you slow it down. That's 3 months of mass production to get it going. Then you just send it out. Granted, it's not gonna help everyone. But if you're looking for, like, DDR5 or whatever RAM, 6,000 whatever, you get it. Yes, you're not gonna have to need any more RAM for a while, so it ain't gonna bother you anymore. No, it ain't gonna bug you anymore. All it's gonna do, all it's gonna do is give you a peace of mind to buy something at retail price. Right now, rent is going up. Granted, gas coming down, eggs coming down, but rent's still going up. Why? It all depends where you live at. Location, location, location. So if you live in an area where it's higher cost of living, yeah, it's gonna be more expensive. If you live in some slum area, yeah, it's gonna be less expensive. But you don't want to be a person that's trying to buy a RAM somewhere. You can't, because it's like $900 for a damn kit of RAM, because the insanity of these companies who are purposely taking RAM and making it cost triple the price it was 4 months earlier, 5 months earlier, and telling us, well, we have to cut production because we're afraid we overproduce and be too much random market. Yeah, gee whiz, giving those PC gamers options, that's terrible. I know. You can give us a break. We go home and work 40 hours a week to put food on the table and pay bills, come home, play some games, and our RAM capacity is not meeting minimum requirements. Yeah, screw us, right? It's our fault that you guys are just greedy and want to squeeze every damn nickel out of us. That's what it is, folks. These companies don't like us. They don't care. We saw Nvidia's true colors when they're in even Intel. Well, Intel's not in, Intel's not ringing the table right now anyway. So they're still trying to figure out how to get their damn cards actually, beat out, 8 GB variant cards. Their 12 GB card have trouble beating out 8 GB variants. What I'm trying to say, guys, is this. In my close here, is this. If you haven't bought a graphics card this year and you want to buy one, I would probably strike when the iron is still warm. It's cooling down quickly. Because when 2026 hits, it's it. You're going to be stuck with prices probably out of this world. So, and if you need RAM, God help you. I mean, if your RAM broke or stopped working, and do an RRA and taking forever, because RAM company ain't going to send out RAM. They're going to send it to companies first. Now maybe they'll send out replacement RAM to you if you're lucky enough. If you don't, you're going to buy a new RAM, and God help you. Well, guys, I'll make my video tonight. My year in review tonight. Then I won't be back on until January 5th, where I'll be reviewing my Bit 60 Ti 16 GB. I've been playing it a lot. Been doing overclock on it, trying to figure out what thing can't do, the limitations of it, so I can give you guys a better, fair, impartial review of it, so you guys will know. And thank you guys for watching my video. God bless you guys. Peace out, everyone.